Alright everybody, welcome back to episode 8, I believe, if I haven't miscounted, of Marvel vs. Capcom Revisited. It is Iconage as always. We couldn't get the budget for Jared Leto, so you're stuck with me. And this episode, we're doing Ryu. Now, I've done Ryu before in Marvel 1, but I thought, yeah, I'll do Ultimate Marvel 3 this time, and I'll also cover Ryu. This is pretty interesting, and I realized, for this game, I've normally done the high tiers, or the really top tiers, like Doom, and I've done Virgil, and I've also done Dante as well. And I thought, you know what, I might as well do a low tier today. Now, I will say that if you haven't seen this type of video before, there's no elaborate script, I just go off dot points on my phone. So I have done a little bit of planning and, you know, basic bullet point scripting, but there's no big elaborate script I've memorized. It's kind of rambly, so it's good to have one in the back while you do something else or something, or if you just want to learn a bit about Marvel and Ryu. So yeah, speaking of Ryu, he first appeared, I wrote down here in my notes, he first appeared in the first Street Fighter game, which came out all the way back in 1987. That's like at least 4 years ago, which is pretty mental if you think about it. And he's been pretty iconic ever since, even to those who aren't in the core FGC. In this game, he is considered to be very low tier. Some people would say he's bottom 10, some people would even go as far as to say he's bottom 5 in the game. I personally wouldn't say he's that bad. He's definitely bottom 10 in the game. He is low tier, but he isn't unusable. He can still win. It's very hard, but you can win with him, and players like Ray and Chris G used to play him, Weaverman plays him, Zenpool on TNS plays him, Brian Casugano. A lot of people can play Ryu really well in Marvel 3. So if you want to find some high-level Ryu play, there's plenty of footage out there on YouTube. And I've written here that, yeah, he isn't used very often due to just how weak he is in the grand scheme of things in Marvel 3, but those who do use him and put the time and the work in, they can use him very well. He's very effective when played when he's performing at maximum capacity, we'll say, if that makes sense. So before we actually get into it proper, I will cover his colors and assists, because I think it'll be fun. So color number 1 is obviously just his regular color. Color number 2, I wrote down in my notes, it's supposedly color number 8 from Street Fighter 4. Color number 3 is from Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Number 4, which is one of my favorites in the game, it's an original color, I believe, made specifically for Ultimate Marvel 3. Number 5 is obviously based on Ken. Number 6 is based on Evil Ryu, specifically Evil Ryu's depiction from SNK vs. Capcom. And his DLC outfit, that's his Herald color. His DLC outfit is from Street Fighter 1. And I also have the color expansion mod. But that's just, you know, that's just a mod, so it's not official. He has 3 assists, as do all the other characters in the game. I have Shoryuken. Now I have my notes up on my other monitor. I have 2 sets of notes. So Shoryuken. This move, unlike most DPs in a fighting game, there is no invincibility on this one, and it causes the opponent to be hit very high up into the air, which means, you know, the assist comes out, hits them up, your point character, it's kind of hard for most point characters to actually combo off that and convert it into meaningful damage. So this assist isn't really used. There's also no block stun, or almost no block stun, and it has very poor horizontal range, because it's a vertical move, obviously. Hadouken, which when I play Ryu from time to time and casually, I like to use Hadouken. It's literally just Hadouken. It's a basic projectile assist, but it's decent for covering horizontal space with a long-range projectile. It does 100,000 damage, which is actually quite good. Like, that's, for a single hitting assist, that's pretty good, 100,000 damage. However, it has low durability, and it has or low priority rather, and 5 durability points, so it's not very good in the grand scheme of things. And he also has Tatsu Maki Senpokyaku. I think I butchered the pronunciation. But this is just like a horizontal kind of lockdown assist. You know, Hadouken is a projectile, whereas Tatsu is actually, you know, Ryu himself, his body is the attack. So you can confirm off it and start a combo, you can use it in the middle of combos. It hits multiple times. So it's it's alright. I mean, it's nowhere near as good as Akuma's Tatsu assist, because this doesn't destroy projectiles. So Hadouken is the best one to go with, in my opinion. And for partners, let's go Dante, and I will pick Wesker. Alright, I meant to pick Bon Wonderland as always, but I fat-fingered it, and I accidentally pressed random select, so we're on this stage, but it's alright, this stage is fine. So yeah, Ryu's general game plan in Ultimate Marvel 3, he's, just like in Street Fighter, he's an all-rounder. He doesn't necessarily excel in any particular field, but he can kind of do everything. So you can kind of play a Ryu who likes to run away in zone with fireballs, and he also has air fireballs. We'll get into his normals and his specials after, but you can run away, you can super jump, you can kind of stall for time by doing this. You can even do that, which we'll show off. But you can also rush down. He has... that move's an overhead, this move is a cross-up, it's an overhead, you can combine it with assists. You can get some cool combos. You can do some cool stuff with it. So you can rush down, you can zone, you can do what you like with Ryu. Again, he doesn't particularly excel at any of these fields, but he can do them. So he's very versatile. So I've written here, okay, so we'll go through his normal. So standing light, just a pretty stock standard stand jab. Can be rapid fire cancelled into itself though, which is quite good. You can confirm or go into a combo like that. Standing medium is pretty much just combo filler. You're not going to use this move in neutral. Doesn't have a very big hitbox. Oh, the hitbox is alright. Hitbox is alright. It's going to hit from around here, which is actually alright. It's better than I thought it was going to be. So it is deceptively big, but you can see if you try to confirm into standing heavy, it doesn't really connect. Unless you're right up close. Because then you can get a combo. So standing heavy is just like a, you know, kind of a roundhouse, I think it's called. So this is alright, it's just more combo filler. I don't think you'd use it to start a combo. You'd mainly want to use standing light because it's faster. Standing light comes out in 5 frames, I have here. And standing heavy comes out in 10 frames, so it's slower. But it's good damage, 90,000 damage. You can use it in a combo. He also has crouching light, which is just low pro. Can be rapid fire cancelled into itself. Up to 5 times. And then you can go on a standing medium there, and then get a combo. Low forward, crouching medium. Low forward fireball, playing Street Fighter now. This move is alright. I guess you could use it to start a combo. Let's see the frame data. Comes out in 8 frames. And crouching light comes out in 6 frames, so it's a bit slower. You can also combo into it like that. You could also do a bunch of those into an overhead if you've conditioned them to block low. Although this move only has 3 active frames. Not many active frames. So it's kind of dangerous if you mess it up. You can get counter hit, you know, you can go through the opponent, things like that. It's not amazing. But moving on to crouching heavy. Crouching heavy is a sweep. You can launch after it, you can go for that, you can get a wall bounce. I was gonna say ground bounce. Can't ground bounce with Ryu. We'll get into that stuff later. Crouching heavy is alright. You're mainly gonna use it after a combo starter, as a sweep or a launcher or something. It's alright. I mean, it causes a hard knockdown, which is actually alright. It's a hard knockdown. So in theory, you could do this. Let me try it. If you have X Factor, you can try to do something like that. But we'll get into his supers later. See a hard knockdown, you can call an assist though. You can do something like that. He also has his launcher. This is a very regular stock standard launcher. Decent damage, 100,000, decent range. Hits from around here. Around here, I think. Yes. It's just very generic, very standard, nothing amazing. We also have his aerial normal, so jumping light is an instant overhead against most characters. You can also do unblockable stuff like that if you have the timing and these, you know, all the circumstances are right and everything lines up perfectly. So it's an instant overhead, you can do that. You can do it in combos, but I don't know why you would do an air light in combos in this game, at least when you're doing Magic Series. Jumping medium is alright, because jumping medium hits twice, so it's very good for combo filler. You can see 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. So it's pretty good. Extra damage. And then jumping heavy, you can do option selects with air throws and stuff, and you can buffer it with Tatsus and whatnot. But that move, it just does good damage. It's just a good move to use in air combos. Does a nice chunk of damage. Has high base damage. You can special cancel it. You can super cancel it. Like that. You can do something like that. So it's a decent air normal to have. His jumping normal, jumping special rather. You can see it's a cross-up. It looks very Street Fighter-esque. Like that. So you see cross-up, pretty deep hitting cross-up as well, which is very good. Especially for a low tier like Ryu to have. Easily start a combo off of that. You do something like that. 95,000 damage without X Factor. So cross-up, 95,000. Pretty good. So it's a good move to have, but it also spikes the opponent back down in a combo. He also has the overhead. Forward medium. You can donkey kick after it. You can also launch. Oh, my bad. You can launch after that. He also has roundhouse kick. Forward heavy, which is this kick you see me do after standing heavy in combos. It juggles opponents who are a bit higher than him in the air. You can loop Tatsu in the corner in a certain combo. I was going to show it off, but I forgot how to do it. But you can find footage of it online. So if I were to do this, you can see that it adds up a bunch of damage in the combo. So roundhouse kick is pretty important to have. Good combo filler tool. You can do something like that. So those are all his normals actually. He doesn't have too many normals. He's got the overhead, forward medium, and the roundhouse kick. Forward heavy, that's it for command normals. Everything else is just generic normals. Let's get into his specials now. So, he has a bunch of them. We have Hadouken, stock standard Hadouken. Light, medium, heavy. I'm pretty sure they all come out at the same speed. They do. They all have the same amount of durability, priority, and the same speed. Hadouken, 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 Hadouken. And they all do the same amount of damage too. 100,000 for light, 100,000 for medium, 100,000 for heavy. You can do multiple in the air, you can do them on the ground. Doing this in the air is actually pretty good for stalling. I think you can do 3. 1, 2, 3, and then, yeah, you see the 4th one didn't come out. So this isn't a bad move to have. Decent little projectile. Although, I mean, you know, a lot of characters you can move really fast. They might be able to teleport behind you or fly over it or something, but it's an alright projectile to have. And you can do it in the air. So you can see it stalls. There's no hit stun deterioration on the air version, there is on the ground version. I think I forgot to mention that. So it's alright to have. Decent move. He has Ren Hadouken, which is Hadouken with the launcher button. I like to call this the shotgun Hadouken, because if you mash the button, it's like a bunch of them in a, you know, really quick fashion. Hadouken, 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 it's pretty cool. You can do up to 5. You can't launch after it though, because the startup, unless you have an X Factor, an assist or whatever. And you can see, like a shotgun, the range isn't amazing. It's gonna miss from around here, and it doesn't move him forward. It actually moves him backwards, because you see at the end of the animation, he takes a step back. But this move is actually alright, it's just like, it's just pretty funny to have, I suppose. You can also do it in the air like that. It looks pretty funny. He also has Baku Hadouken. So this one, Ren Hadouken, you mash the button. Baku, you hold it. Boom! So that move leads to a wall bounce, which is pretty good, 150,000 damage. You can combo into it, which I will try to show off. Boom! So you can do, if you have an OTG assist, you can do that into a super or continue the combo or something like that. Although it is a bit difficult for Ryu to convert into anything, you would have to cancel into his install, dash up, and then pick up. But if you have no meter, or if you're like, you know, full screen away, it's very hard to do. But it's still a funny move to have, and you can do it in the air, you can Tiger Knee it. You could even go for a super, which isn't bad. If you have a lot of meter, you can DHC into stuff. Speaking of meter, I will give myself a bunch of meter. I will do that. He also has the Shoryuken. Now, you can't do it in the air. You can see my input's not coming out in the air. But on the ground, it works fine. Different damage values for each version. Now, this is one of the very few meterless invincible reversals in Marvel 3. If your opponent does a super, like that, you'll see how he beat it out clean, right? Boom! Shoryuken! Like that. You can try to go into a super or something, you know? A light version will trade like that, but it's pretty funny. That's really good. True meterless invincible reversal DP, which is fantastic to have. You can also cancel the medium version into level 3. We'll show the rest later. It's a little tease. But yeah, it's a decent move to have. Nice little anti-air. I mean, you know, it's Marvel. It's not like Street Fighter. In this game, if someone jumps you, you're not really gonna Shoryuken them. You're gonna try to call an assist or go for an air throw or something like that. But it's nice to have. He also has a Hado Shoryuken. It's Shoryuken with the S button. Hado Shoryuken. You can see it actually shoots up a bunch of projectiles. Very bad range. But if your opponents, if they like to stay in the air and you like to fly, you know, they like to fly and kind of taunt you and go, you're Ryu and I'm Magneto, I'm in the air and you can't get me. You can just be like, well, you know what, you may be Magneto and you can fly up there, and I may be just a dude who does karate, but guess what? Boom! Those projectiles are going to go up and get the aerial opponent, which is pretty good. Although it's very slow. However, I can see here, it's invul from frames 1 to 30, which is nuts. It has 30 frames of invulnerability, which is disgustingly good. That's super good. You can also cancel it into stuff, but it's still good to have. I mean, it's very invincible, and it's good for catching aerial opponents. He also has his Tatsu, quarter circle back, and light, medium, or heavy. Light hits once. 1, 2 for medium. And 3 times for heavy. The light version, you can also do it in the air. So you see the medium version in the air. 1, 2, 3, 4. The heavy version, it actually hits 5 times. I'll convert into it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And his main air combo ender is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into a super. But the light air Tatsu, you can see it descends as a cross-up. So it's a good idea if you have an assist that hits low, for example, and you're on the way down, you can be like, oh, boom, unlockable. I mean, they can't get out of that if they know how, but it's a decent knowledge check. And because it crosses over, it leaves them susceptible to being hit by assists. So you can do something like that. Air light Tatsu, very good. And you can also mix it up with that. It's a good reset tool. Ryu has decent reset and mix-up potential. He also has the donkey kick, backwards DP, and a button. This is a full screen wall bounce into a soft knockdown, which is pretty good. Now it's actually possible to dash up and confirm, like that. Although I'm not very good at it, admittedly. Yeah, you mainly want to use it after a roundhouse kick at the start of a combo. But remember, you only get one wall bounce per combo in this game. That's how the combo system functions. With wall bounces and ground bounces and other things of the like. So the point I'm trying to make is that if you use the wall bounce very early on in your combo, you're done. You've used it already. You can't use another wall bounce. It's like Wesker. You couldn't do that. Dante couldn't do wall bounce with his stuff. So you gotta be careful. You gotta remember that you've already used the wall bounce. So it's a really good move to have, though. Good combo tool. You can also cancel... Oh, this move has long recovery, though. Long recovery. So you can cancel it into a super. Boom, boom. You can do something like that. And that's it. Those are all of his specials. So let's go on to a super now. I haven't had anything to drink today. Very thirsty. I have cotton mouth. Forgive me if I mess up or if I stutter. For this one, very standard beam super. You can mash it for more damage. Roughly 300,000 damage, which is pretty good. It's pretty alright. You can do it in the air as well. What's cool is you can aim this move. If you just let it go horizontally, you can aim it down. And if you do it in the air as well, if you hold down, he actually aims it down like that. And that's an OTG. That's Ryu's only OTG. You have to do this to OTG. And you see the final hit knocks him up, so if you X-Factor, you can Tatsu into another super. For some pretty nice damage. And if you're on the ground, you can hold up and aim it like that, which is pretty alright. It's like a nice cone of destruction. The blue cone of destruction. Like that, pretty good. So it's not bad. And you can also, if your opponent calls in the, one of their assists, like this. Let's do that. Oh, you reacted to their assist call? Boom! Oh, I want to do it again. Oh, I have Dante in the back. I want a DHC. I can go for that. I got another DHC. So you can see, if you have Meteor and you have X Factor, the damage can quickly rack up. We shoot at me. And he also has Shinku, Tatsumaki, Senpu, Kyaku. Quarter circle back and 2 buttons. Can be mashed for more damage, I believe. Big damage. And it leads to a hard knockdown, which is very good. It's a reversal. It's invulnerable from frames 1 to 17. You don't see that super very often. Actually, you won't try to OTG. You get the idea. You just do that, and then you do this move to OTG. But you don't see this one super often. You mainly see the Hadouken just because it's better to use in more situations. Obviously, this super, it's only usable when you're right up close. And you can't use it in the air. It's a ground-only close-range super. Whereas this one is a long-range super that can be you'd also be used at close range, whether you're right up close, mid-screen, or full screen away, and you can't even see my hand on camera anymore. But this move, as a reversal, it's alright. If they try to press, you can DHC. He also has the level 3 Shin Shoryuken DP. Boom! And you can actually combo after it. It's not too hard to do so, and now that I've said that, I'm going to drop it. So you can do this. That's like the easy way. You can see big damage, nearly 1 million damage, not bad. You can do something like this. Let's see if I get the timing. Let's see if I can get it first try. Oh yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can do something like that. For some big damage, nearly 1 million again. And again, after medium DP, if you do the move right away, you can combo into it. So it's a very good level 3 to have. High damage, and you can also do this. Because the hard knockdown, you can call in an assist. And it's also a great combo ender too. He also has down, down, and 2 buttons. Hado Kakusei, I think is how you pronounce it, Kakusei. I can't remember the name exactly. It's an install and it does 2 things. Okay, it's not very long. It doesn't last for very long. It actually lasts for... I have my notes here, 339 frames, so you could convert that into seconds, I suppose. But yeah, does 2 things. 1, 15% speed boost. In like terms of frame data and normals and walk speed and stuff like that, I believe. But the supers change. So Shinku Hadoken, you can't aim it anymore, but it does that. So you can't aim it down, it's no longer an OTG, but it bounces off the walls. So it looks like this. Pretty good. And the Tatsu, you can see just how good his forward dash is now. His Tatsu super, in this install, looks like this now. He just summons a whole ass tornado, and it also leads to a knockdown. And his voice changes as well. You can see 83 hits, which is nuts. It's like, oh, we get X Factor. You have an assist. Pick up. Boom! Natural disaster combo. And you can try to target any stuff. But it's really cool. That's all they do. So it just changes... Oh, that's all that install does, aside from the speed boost. Changes their super. Or changes his supers, rather. And it also, Shin Tatsu does more damage. The regular Tatsu super does 315,000 damage. This one does 395,000, so it's a pretty decent increase in damage, you know. And it also has a larger hitbox. That was the wrong button. Didn't mean to do that. I'm pretty sure you can also do this. Like that. Which is nuts. Like, that's so sick, isn't it? While you're in the air. Summon tornadoes! Yeah, so many hits. It's so cool to use. It's such a cool move. And that's it for Ryu's moves. That's all of his normal, specials, and supers. So before we wrap up, I've written some stuff here. So I've written that Ryu, when it comes to team composition, he's mainly used either as a point character or as a secondary character. If I had to put Ryu on a team, I would personally put him first. And the reason for that is, Ryu... Okay, there's a reason why you never have him on anchor, right? Because Ryu needs assists. He needs an OTG, he needs a combo extender, he needs like DHC options, he needs other characters to complement him and to make him stronger. If you have Ryu on his own with like 1 or 2 bars of meter and no X Factor, he can't make the comeback. It's just not going to happen. Or at least it's very rare, it's nearly impossible. Ryu is not a combat character. He needs assists to supplement his kind of mediocre offense/defense. So that's why I would put him first, because he could use assist to help him with OTGs, with wall bounces, ground bounces, combo extensions, also for mix-ups and pressure. You see Wesker hits low, you can go for an overhead. If you condition them to block low, you can go for an unblockable like that. Dante, you can cross up, which side am I going to be on? Oh, combo. But Ryu is, as I said before, he's also put second. And it's because, I said before, we've established, Ryu has high damage output, right? And his Fireball super can be done on the ground or in the air. It's a very good super. Does a lot of damage. So, if you have him in the back, let's just keep it simple. So if you have Ryu second, you can do level 3, you can do level 1, you can do whatever super you want, really. So he's great as like a combo ender character. You can get a hard knockdown, you can tag him in, you can tag a partner in after level 3. So he's good to have either point or secondary. And I think that's about it. I think I've rambled on for long enough. Thank you very much for watching if you stuck all the way to the end. If you would like to see another character be in Marvel vs. Capcom Revisited, please leave a comment. I like to read them for this series. And I will get back to you as soon as possible. And I think that's going to be it. Alright, thanks for watching everyone. See ya.